Good morning. Welcome to today's administrative meeting of the Public Service Commission. We're down one commissioner today, but we'll make do. Wanted to announce the arrival of a new employee today. I think John's sitting next to them, Samuel Terter. Welcome to the commission. Samuel started on January 30th as a new gas safety engineer with us. He has over 19 years of experience of testing equipment with MET Laboratories. And he also supervised and managed the energy efficiency and battery testing laboratory and represented that company at major industry events. He has an electrical engineering degree from St. Louis University and some graduate courses at Johns Hopkins. Samuel, welcome to the 19th floor, and I think you'll find your colleagues in the engineering division very accommodating. Thank you. Before we get to our lightly packed agenda today, we have some administrative meeting minutes from our last meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the January 30th meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt the minutes from the January 30th, 2019 administrative meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Madam Secretary, the administrative agenda.
The first item on the administrative agenda is BCM1 Inc., filed on December 11, 2018, notification of issuance of certain indebtedness.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Lloyd Spivak for the Commission staff. This is BCM1 Incorporated's notice of intent to obtain debt financing of both term and revolving debt in amounts up to $105 million. To be more precise, this is a financing arrangement obtained by BCM1's parent company, BCM1 Holdings Incorporated. The financing is intended to help pay for BCM1's acquisition by BCM1 Holdings, an acquisition which the Commission noted in December of 2018. As a general rule, under Public Utilities Article Sections 6-101A2 and 5-203B2, an incorporated public service company that operates in Maryland must obtain prior Commission approval in order to engage in a financing transaction of this nature. However, prior Commission approval is not required if the transaction meets three conditions. One is that the public service company is one whose gross revenues for the most recent calendar year are 3% or less than the total gross annual revenues of all public service companies in the state during the same calendar year. The public service company must provide written notice to the Commission of the transaction, and the public service company must obtain approval of the transaction from the entity that regulates it in another state. BCM1 meets all of these conditions, including demonstrating that the New York Public Service Commission has approved the transaction. Accordingly, staff recommends that the Commission note BCM1's participation in its parent company's finance transaction.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak. Is there representatives from BCM1 with us today? Seeing none, are there any questions for Mr. Spivak? Thank you, sir. With that, is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we note the company's participation in its parent company's financing transaction.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is approved. Thank you.
Commissioners.
The second and last item on the administrative agenda is Washington Gas Light Company, filed on January 22, 2019, revised tariff pages PSC Maryland number 6, third revised page number 102.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff. Washington Gas seeks Commission acceptance of filed revisions to its Stride Rider tariff, third revised page number 102, to be effective January 1, 2019. In the case of an overcollection, WGL owes a refund to customers under Public Utilities Article 4-210G. Whether there has been an overcollection is calculated annually when reconciling the Stride surcharge as required under Public Utilities Article 4-210H. Under the current tariff, the company is allowed to apply carrying cost on a monthly basis to imbalances that are both overcollections and undercollections. As a result, when carrying costs are applied to undercollections, the monthly Stride surcharge due may increase. The proposed tariff language establishes the carrying costs. That carrying cost will only be calculated on the over-collections and not the under-collections as directed by Order Number 88943 in WGL's recent Stride 2 proceeding. Staff has reviewed the proposed tariff language and believes the proposed modifications are appropriate and in compliance with Order 88943. Staff recommends the Commission accept WGL's revised tariff, page 102, for filing.
Thank you, Ms. Garofalo. Mr. Dodge, do you have anything to add?
Good morning, Your Honor. Commissioners, John Dodge appearing on behalf of Washington Gas. Nothing to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. And Ms. Garofalo, to the extent there are any over or under collections, which there will be, staff counsel will continue to audit any such collections either way.
We will. Mr. Patterson, you really answered that in more detail.
Good morning, Felix Patterson on behalf of staff. Good morning, commissioners.
Morning.
Yes, we will continue to audit it, and if in the current charge will only be on the over collections, not on the under collection. It'll be done on an annual basis.
The auditing or the auditing will be done on an annual basis?
Yeah, and reconciliation. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Questions? Commissioner Richard.
Just one. I was interested in the paragraph under the analysis and background. It says there is staff notes that this could incentivize the company to overestimate the cost of Stride projects. Could you explain what you meant by that? We specifically rejected the contingency factor in the order. Is this are you potential contingency factor by another name, or what did you mean by that?
Good morning. Margaret Tuberty on behalf of staff. This wasn't of specific concern in this particular case, but it is language that staff had included in previous filings of this nature. And it was more meant to just refute the idea that there is no incentive for the company to overstate
Okay, yeah.
their Stride costs.
It talks about that later, that you think it's offset. So, okay, thank you. That's all.
Commissioner Linton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a question for the company. Just one, I note that the next filing for the reconciliation is due in mid-March. Do we have some idea of where we are now? Are you, as a company, able to project at this point?
I have not seen any figures. I know we're on track to file timely. We had a meeting about this internally yesterday. But I can't say with any definite purpose what our numbers are going to be. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further questions, is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For item number 2, I move we accept the tariff revision for filing with an effective date of January 1st, 2019.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is approved. Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Staff. Just a programming note. This afternoon at 1:30, we will be considering final approval of regulations regarding the retail supply market. That's docket RM 62, and that will be at 1:30 this afternoon. For those interested, please return or tune in. And a programming note, we will not be in session next Wednesday. Our next administrative meeting will be 2 weeks from today. And seeing no other business before the commission today, this meeting is adjourned.